Hi there, Lee Farnell here from Leading Your Best Life, and in this session I want to talk to you about meetings. Meetings, you can Google on the internet the billions of dollars a year that are wasted in unproductive meetings. I'll call them stupid meetings, or at least dumb meetings, or not smart meetings. Here are some tips on what I recommend. I've got the notes in front of me from a meeting I had with a client just yesterday. Stay tuned. Well, we know people say billions of dollars a year are wasted in meetings, poorly run meetings, meetings that people don't plan for. And in the meeting I had yesterday, I'm literally looking at some notes I took because I went to a sales meeting, sat in on it. It was okay, but what I could see was even though the person running the meeting had done a lot of preparation and the numbers and the dashboard and all that was good, that the people coming to the meeting had varying degrees of preparation, that there didn't look to be any key system for preparing for the meeting or what to bring to the meeting. And recently with that particular group, we had looked at the Blue Angels, the American pilot stunt team, the Blue Angels, how they say there's never been a perfect flight with something always gone wrong. It doesn't mean major accident where people have died, but they sit down at the end of every flight and look at videos and they do a self-analysis, which they call safeties, and they go through their system and go, okay, where did I do well, and which steps, and where did I not do so well, and they literally call them a safety, and they verbalize no matter what their rank is. Everybody has to admit to where they think they went wrong and how they can improve their flight, and they literally say, I'll fix it, and thank you for being here, or I'm glad to be here. In other words, they could be out in a ship in the middle of the ocean getting attacked by, the enemy, but they're there enjoying stunt pilot. But that's a different story. So here, what I said to my client was, we need everyone to know that there are three parts to a meeting: before, during, and after. And in fact, before, first impressions, what happens in the first 5 minutes, and what happens in the last 5 minutes. Because when people remember first and last impressions, BDA, the BDA, and what happens after the meeting that then sets you up for a productive next meeting. And we made the point, I said, meetings are not a spectator sport. Meetings are not a spectator sport. You don't just write up and go, oh, what are we talking about today? Okay, well, look, I'll have a say, or I won't have a say, or I won't do anything. It's like, no, you prepare for the meeting. And therefore we say, what are the agenda items that we're going to be talking to? And in fact, there's been a rule, and we've talked about this in the past, do not have a meeting unless there are agenda items that people have all seen and know about at least 2 days in advance, so their brains can be thinking about it and sleeping on it in advance. Now, this particular group was a sales meeting, so I'm saying, look, these are just some items I suggest people need to bring to the table. And there may be other items, but one, A, leads I'm working on. What leads are you working on? B, deals I or we as a team are about to close, if I'm working in partnership with other members in the team. C, meetings I've had with prospects or clients. D, wins I've had in the past week or fortnight or month since the last meeting. E, lessons or losses or stuff-ups or learnings that I've had that I want to share with you guys so you guys can have the same lessons and learnings and don't have to make the same stuff-ups. F, what I need from this team or someone in this team to help me move forward or make a sale or unblock progress, what I need. A G, what's a problem I'd like some help with? A problem I have, whether it be a system or this or that. H, things that I'm going to need to fix between now and the next meeting. Things I'm going to need to focus on between now and the next meeting. And if you're going to be like the Blue Angels, and you say, thank you, I'm glad to be here. Also in the meeting, there should be a budget and some kind of forecast in regard to sales or cash flow. What are the numbers? What are the numbers? What are the numbers? I say if there are no numbers discussed in the meeting and no accountability, then it's not a very good meeting, because what the hell are we talking about? Because at the end of the day, we should be trying to move numbers. Interesting, my client talked about one company he'd been associated with where there was literally like a timer at the front of the meeting. You'd log in with your name and roughly what your hourly rate was to then go, right, at the end of that meeting, you could calculate, okay, there's been 6 people in the meeting. Each of those people are getting $100 an hour. Therefore, that's a $600 meeting. Better got some value out of that meeting. So people became conscious of the real costs of a meeting. It better actually do something to move the dial forward, and the meeting better have a positive ROI rather than it be a cost. So how good are your meetings? Is there an agenda before the meetings? What are you doing before, during and after? Does everybody know they need to actually bring something? I would recommend a template or a checklist that they work to so that it's not just left to scrubby pieces of paper in a book. And at the end of the meeting is, okay, who's got what notes? And in fact, we've done this with the agreement wheel situation. Go around the room, who's doing what action as a result of this meeting? So even if you've got two actions, who's doing what? So you know, and then again, ideally, there are minutes kept and the actions are captured so that people are accountable, because we know people love to do what they love to do and they don't necessarily love to do what they don't love to do. So we need to have systems in place to capture who's doing what the accountability is, and then when can that item be ticked off. Is it, and it can be in colour-coded. I've just done this with another client. Colour-coded. Are these items in the green, red or orange? Red being they're really blocked and there's trouble. Green, done, fantastic. And orange, okay, well, there's progress, but there needs to be more progress. Folks, want some help with this? Talking about leading your best life, then if you're in business, meetings are a critical part of the business. You want to make sure that the meetings are productive. Meetings are not a spectator sport. Want to find out more? Do touch base, PDC, LFVB. Give me a call. The links are in the email below, in the notes below. I want to help you lead your best life. Have your most fun at business. Be the most productive you can be, because one day it's all over. See you next time. I'm Lee Farnell. Share it with friends if you think it's worthwhile.